I didn't open any textbook. I didn't open any ATI book. Didn't open any Saunders book. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Priscilla, and during this video I will be talking about my entire NCLEX experience. That's from, if you could hear my dogs, I'm sorry, that's from getting my ATT number, that's taking my NCLEX, getting my results. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to stay tuned for the rest of the video. But if this is your first time here, hello, my name is Priscilla. I am a now registered nurse who just graduated from nursing school. My friend and I, Ricki, are using this channel to really document our entire healthcare journey. So I'm a registered nurse, and she is a nursing student going back to school to become a doctor. So if you guys, if that is interesting to you guys, if you guys are on that same path, please check out the rest of our videos. Hit the subscribe button if you like us, comment, share, like, all that good stuff if you guys want to support our channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so just a quick run through of everything so you guys understand timeline. I graduated from nursing school May 15th of 2021. I got my ATT number, which is just your authorization to test number from, the state boards or whatever. So that way I was able to schedule my exam on May 26th, so a week and a half later. And then I scheduled my NCLEX for June 23rd, which was like 3 days ago. So I just got my results back yesterday. And in regards to your ATT number, sometimes that number, for whatever reason, it could take a while for it to get to you. So I know like schools around me, they got their ATT numbers like a day after they graduated. And usually if you have all your documents in to like your state boards, and your school is just kind of like sending like the verification that you did graduate from nursing school, it could take a day. But for our school, for whatever reason, it took about like a week and a half, and some people, they take even longer than that. So if it's going on for longer than 2 weeks, that's definitely like time to start calling people to make sure that everything is in place. And most people, when they get their ATT numbers, that's when they start studying. For me, I decided to start studying like before I got it. So I think I definitely started like the Monday after I graduated. I knew I already had a start date for July 12th. And so I was like, I want to take my NCLEX sometime in late June, and I don't want to be behind on studying it. And I took about 3 to 4 weeks to graduate 3 to 4 weeks to study. And for me, that was the perfect amount of time. I also wanted to mention was that my school, we had an 88% pass rate for our NCLEX, which isn't amazing. Probably isn't amazing, but I felt like a lot of people from my school, I don't know why that number might be considered lower than other schools, but a lot of people that I know do pass the NCLEX on the first time. So 88 isn't really bad when you take in consideration that a lot of people from our school are passing. And when it came to studying, so our school, we adopted the ATI program. Our school made us get all these you guys have seen them. You guys have seen them before. You guys know what I'm talking about. We started working through our ATI textbooks, and throughout the years, we were pulling concepts from that or using that to review for the NCLEX. But during our last semester, we had to do an ATI comprehensive assessment, like a capstone. And basically what that entailed was that each week we had to go through subject in nursing school. So we had a leadership block, we had a maternity block, a peds block, etc. And then during that week we had to do a whole bunch of practice questions and then review the questions that we got wrong. So that's kind of what I took in as me studying for the NCLEX before I actually graduated, because that was just kind of me reviewing the information. But once I did graduate, I bought Uworld. I did I think it's $160, the one that comes with one assessment, 2,000 plus questions. I wanted to get it done within a month or so, within 3 weeks. I took all those questions, and I think I gave myself 75 to 100 questions per day. I just worked through those questions, and I did the tutor mode. So this did because I was doing the tutor mode and I was reviewing each question as I was getting them wrong or right, this did take me a while to get through. Start at 10, finish at 6 p.m. honestly, maybe even later than that, because I was taking breaks and eating and whatever in the middle of it. But that's how I did it. And I feel when studying for the NCLEX, I should definitely use a method that has been working for you during nursing school. I saw people that would read the entire Saunders book all over again when they were studying for their NCLEX, and I just knew that's not what I'm going to do. I strictly stuck to using that Uworld questions and getting through all the questions. And then a week before my exam, I did that comprehensive assessment that kind of tests your predictability of passing the NCLEX. And I scored well on that. So I felt that was that made me feel good going into the NCLEX. And then let's see, what else did I do? I also used Mark Clemick's audiobooks, which were Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. His audiobooks, please. You don't even have to be taking the NCLEX to listen to those. Like, even if you're in nursing school, it is so worth it to listen to those audiobooks, especially the one about prioritization. It is amazing. And he goes, and the way that he describes everything made you realize that you actually know a lot more than what you do. Right? Did I said that right? It makes you feel like you know a lot more than what you feel like, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. I think they just got removed from YouTube, but I'll try to find a link somewhere to like share with you guys so that way you guys are able to reference it and use it, because it is amazing. And I didn't open any textbook, I didn't open any ATI book, didn't open any Saunders book. That was kind of it, and that's what worked. And I passed with 75 questions, so I felt like it worked for me. And I feel like with studying for the NCLEX, you should have the pressure that you need to do well, but you don't have to. I feel like you don't have to like kill yourself to do it, essentially. Like for me, I took a long time studying because I was like, you know, took a lot of time to like review all the notes, and I was also like writing down the ones that I was getting wrong. Like you don't have to read an entire book to study unless you feel like that is like what's necessary and that's how you learn best. So just, you know, take note of how you've been studying during your nursing school and look at what's worked for you and what hasn't worked. Don't go try starting something new, because this is not the time to start trying new studying habits. Like use what works for you. Because also I want to say that the pass rate for the NCLEX is rather high. I want to say it's around like 88 to like 90% of people pass on their first try. So, you know, I feel like that kind of says that they want you to pass your board. And some additional things about Uworld is that people like the score that you get on like your mini assessments, your practice like quizzes, don't take those too like heavy. Like if you're not scoring well, like if you cannot get above like a 70, 60, like that's okay. I've heard a lot of people say that you scoring between 50 and 60% is like where you want to be at when it comes to like your those like mini assessments that you want to do. Same thing when you get to like that self-assessment at the end of it all. Basically what the NCLEX and what Mark mentions in his audiobooks is that they're just wanting to make sure that you know what everybody else knows. So knowing like all like the really like difficult things, like they're gonna test you on that just to see, and that's gonna definitely help you finish the NCLEX in like less amount of questions rather than going throughout the whole exam. But they just want to make sure that you know how to be a safe nurse and what to do in like emergency situations. So if you don't know like a super hard question, like don't beat yourself up about it. Just know that like I would, like whenever I was studying, I would look at how many people got it correct. And if it was like under 25%, under even 50%, I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna like stress about this too much because not a lot of people got it right either. But I would like make note of it just in case, that way I would review it later. And if it did come back to me during the exam, then great. When I was studying for the NCLEX, I made like this master spreadsheet of topic that I was going to study each day. I'm going to take a screenshot of like what the schedule that I use in case you guys want to reference it, and I'll pop it up here. The program that I used to create that was Notion, and I'll leave a link in the description box how to like get the template that I did. So now I kind of want to talk about what it was like those days leading up to the NCLEX and like the day of the NCLEX. So I took my practice assessment the Friday before my NCLEX. That's like after I did all the questions and I reviewed all the content. I took a day, only did that self-assessment, and I scored like really good on it. And so I felt good going into the NCLEX. And so I decided to just take the weekend off, didn't look at my notes, just kind of like chilled with my friends and my family, and just kind of getting like a decent score just made me feel like comfortable that I was going to be able to pass the NCLEX. So I kind of took like Monday to review all those notes that I had made previously, which came out to be like maybe like 90 pages. I also reviewed Mark Clemick's audiobooks, like the notes that I made from there, and that's like another 60 pages. And the way I did it was that I wrote down anything that was still I wasn't remembering. So then Tuesday, the day before my NCLEX, I just quickly like looked over, like I got it down to like 10 pages or so. I quickly looked over that kind of stuff and did a couple more practice questions. People recommend not studying it all the day before your NCLEX, but because I was taking a lot of breaks during studying for my NCLEX and giving myself self-care days and whatever, like I didn't feel as much, like I would like definitely go with that if you've been studying really hard every single day. I was giving myself time to like, you know, enjoy my summer before like I started working essentially. I did like maybe like 60, 70-ish questions that day and kind of reviewed my notes again, and then didn't do anything else, chilled. The morning of, once again, I looked at those like little notes that I made, and then I went and took my exam. So I took my exam at noon on June 23rd. Correct? Yeah, June 23rd. We walked in and there was about 15 other people that took the same exam, that took the test in the same room as me. So we all grabbed a number, and then you got called up to like this like person to, you know, get signed in or whatever. And then they do like a scan of like your hands to, I don't know, I guess like verify who you are. And then they take a picture of you and they make you like lock up your belongings, because you do get unlimited breaks. Like you could get up and take a break or use the bathroom or eat a snack or whatever in the middle of the exam. It's just going to count against your time, and they're going to take a picture of you. And then you got to go to another person, and then they're going to look at your ID, look at you again to make sure you don't have any like material like written on your hands or like any like notes on you or whatever. And then they will walk you into your room, and then you will be seated. I was like seated at like this computer cubicle area. So it's like a cubicle. And so really I couldn't see anybody but myself, unless like I intentionally like turned around. And the room was really quiet, the chair was comfortable or whatever. And so you're sitting at a computer desk with a keyboard, and then they give you like this whiteboard, so that way you're able to like write down like, you know, thoughts in your head to help you think through the process. And you're gonna sit there, you're gonna take your questions, and then when you're done, you're gonna raise your hand, and then you're gonna up and you're gonna dip. And most of you guys probably already know that the NCLEX is like a computer adaptive test, meaning that it's not like any other test that you've taken before in nursing school. The way the NCLEX works is that it's kind of gives you like easy questions at the beginning, and then from there it's going to make the question harder if you get it right, or they're going to make it easier if you get it wrong. And so basically what that means is that they want to make sure that you get to like a certain like level before they're able to pass you of getting like difficult questions. And so they usually say when you get a lot of select all that applies, those are like the difficult questions. And so when you see a lot of select all applies, that is a good sign that you are doing well on the NCLEX and that you probably passed. But I also wanted to make another note about the adaptive test, is that they say if you don't know an answer, then it's okay if you to just like, you know, give it your best shot and just move on to the next one. What they do not recommend is just like guessing and rapid guessing. Like, it will make you probably get more questions wrong. And when you're getting questions wrong, they're going to bump down like your difficulty level. They're going to give you easy questions. And if they see a lot of easy questions that they're giving you, they're going to not, the computer is going to basically say that this person doesn't really know their stuff. So, you know, work through each question at a reasonable pace. When I was taking the exam, it felt like the hardest exam I've ever taken. I could only compare it to like an exam that I had like a year ago, where I was guessing on every single question, and I was like, during this exam I was just giving it all like my best shot. I really didn't know what I was doing, and I was trying so hard to just focus on like each question and like, you know, really paying attention to like the stem and all that. And I'm not going to talk about the questions here, but for me it was challenging. For other people, they feel like it's straightforward. So the best way to, you know, prepare for the NCLEX is just to do everything that you can do to prepare yourself for the NCLEX. And for me, that was, you know, doing my practice questions, Mark Klemic, lightly reviewing my notes. I don't know if any other study method would have really helped me more in that situation, because I think the NCLEX is really testing like your ability to critically think about situations and patient scenarios. If you run out of time and you get over the minimum, so I think this year it's like 75 is the minimum. The way that they do it is that they look at their last 60 questions and they kind of use that as like deciding if you're going to pass or fail or not. And they kind of like look at like how you were fluctuating between like the difficult and easy question. You run out of time and you didn't get all 70, you didn't get even like the minimum 75, I think that's like an automatic failure. But I will link a video below of a girl that I found that on YouTube that was talking about how she ran out of time on her NCLEX and like what happened. She ended up passing even though she didn't get all the questions. I think 2.5 hours to do my questions. Then I was just waiting. And then the 48-hour mark was so I took my exam on Wednesday. The 48-hour mark that they gave to get your quick results, which is something, I don't think it's available to all states, but basically it gives you your results for your NCLEX if you pass or fail within 48 hours, but you have to like pay like $8 for it. That 48 hours was the Friday at like, I think it was like around 1 p.m. is when then I finally was able to like purchase it. And then if you take your exam at like 8 a.m., I think it comes in a little bit earlier, like maybe like around 10. I saw people posting about it. And if you take it on a Friday, then you'll still get your results on a Sunday. And another question that I feel like people ask a lot is, how long does it take to actually get your license? And I don't know. I took the NCLEX 3 days ago. I applied for my license in Pennsylvania, so I don't know how much longer it's going to take for me to get my official license, but I hope soon, because my start date is July 12th and you need like your license to actually like work with patients. When I get my license, I will update you guys on that timeline, but yeah, I haven't gotten it yet. I think they say that it could take up to 30 days. I'm hoping that's not the case. And real quick before I end this video, I do want to say this like one little thing that's really helped me like manage my stress not only with the NCLEX, but also like going into work, and you start to feel like that pre-shift anxiety, especially like when you're working as like a nurse extern or PCT. It's just reminding yourself that, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but this is something that I've used, and I could just Google this kind of stuff, but whatever. I'm just gonna tell myself that it's true. That fear and excitement are like activating like the same places in your brain, and like they're the same chemicals in your brain, like they're both doing the same thing, but the only difference between it is like that emotional response that you have to it. So fear, you feel that like, I'm like so scared about this, I'm so scared, but versus excitement, like you feel happy and you're excited to do it. So a way that you could try to rework your brain, the way that I've been doing it, is instead of saying like, oh, I'm so scared to take this exam, is kind of looking at like, I'm excited to do X, Y, and Z. So I'm excited to take this exam and be one step closer to working as a nurse. Or I'm so scared of going into work, like it's going to be a bad shift, da, 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 da. You could say like, I'm excited to go into work because it's going to be a new day to learn new things. And that might sound super corny, and to most people it is probably corny, but for me, and maybe you guys, maybe somebody out there, it'll help resonate with them and make them just be able to have more control of their emotions, because nursing can be super emotional and draining, and that stress is definitely going to take like a toll on your body, and it's definitely going to make you feel burnt out a lot quicker. And so, you know, before we even start getting into like the actual nursing stuff, we're still in nursing school, we don't want to feel burnt out. So that's kind of like one way that I've been trying to manage my stress that I want to share with you guys. I hope it works. Maybe if you guys find it corny, you could still try it, and maybe it'll eventually work on you guys. But I also want to mention that I've also talked with a lot of people that have gotten to 145 questions and they still pass the NCLEX. So I don't want people to feel like if their exam didn't shut off at 75, then that's like necessarily a bad sign. It's just, you know, you just continue to work on your questions. And I think Mark Clemick said it really great when he was explaining that if your exam goes over 75 questions, rather than thinking of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail, think of it as like another chance to like prove yourself, and that saying that you're still in the game, you still have a chance, rather than, you know, doubting yourself and like making you feel more anxious. So thank you guys for tuning into this video. I'm so glad that you guys stayed till the end. If you guys once again have any questions about like the NCLEX experience, you know, the time limit at all, please do not hesitate to leave like, you know, your comments down in the comments section below. But you know, this is what I'm giving you guys so far. So thank you guys once again for watching. Please hit that like, subscribe, leave a comment below to support our channel as we reached 200 subscribers, which is super freaking awesome. We're really making our way up there. So we want to continue to grow this channel. So if you guys like our content, you like Ricki and I, please support our channel, because it's definitely going to help us reach more people and just be able to have a greater impact on everybody. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.